Welcome, everyone, to the Better Love Movement podcast, where you will finally learn how to intentionally do dating and relationships right. My name is Anitastoudmire, and I'm a licensed professional therapist and your personal love mentor. I've worked with thousands of singles and couples, giving them the skills needed to attract and keep the amazing love they desire. It's my heart's work to help people to get the skills needed to not only become the very best versions of themselves, but to help them grow and evolve emotionally and relationally. You can absolutely have the romantic relationship of your dreams. Come and let me show you how. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Better Love Movement podcast. So this week, I wanted to talk to my feminine ladies, and I created this podcast episode just for you because this is something I have noticed that a lot of ladies are struggling with on their feminine energy journey. They're learning how to relax more into their feminine, lean back. They want to attract a good, healthy, masculine man, but there is something that is missing. I am seeing this quite a bit in some of my clients and some of the other women, whether it be on social media or on YouTube. And it is just this general contempt for men. And so I wanted to talk in this week's podcast episode all about becoming a woman who really loves men. So we are in episode number 134 of the podcast. And so I want to give you some tips and just some tools to help you with this. Because one of the things that women have got to understand is if you're going to manifest a really amazing, healthy, masculine partner, you have to love men. And so many women that I have worked with don't, or at least they act like they don't. And so there's an energy to this. There's an energy that you should embody. And men should be able to feel that energy. They should be drawn to you like a moth to a flame. And so, ladies, if you are using your words to express your disdain for men, if you are using phrases like men are stupid, all men cheat, men are shiftless, men are lazy. If you're using your words to describe men in these ways, you are expressing a contempt for men. And if I can be so honest, a lot of women have very unhealthy relationships with the men in their lives. So whether it's your first relationship with a man, your father, a lot of you have daddy issues. So whether daddy wasn't there, you were raised by a single mother, or daddy was there early on and maybe your parents divorced and your dad didn't come around, you didn't visit with him, you don't feel like he was there for you, he didn't fight for you. If you never knew who your father was, and you didn't have other good male role models. If your dad lived in the home with you, but was emotionally unavailable. Maybe you knew your dad, maybe your parents were married or they were together, but your dad was very emotionally unavailable. Maybe your dad was more of the feminine energy and your mom was the masculine energy. And so you saw your dad kind of, become a pushover. He really didn't have much say in terms of, the household, and he really didn't lead. He really didn't step up. And so in your mind, women are much stronger than men. If you have a very negative relationship with your children's father, or maybe an ex, and you all broke up, and maybe he is not doing everything he needs to do. Maybe he's not paying child support, or he's not working, or he's not coming around to visit the children. Maybe there are other men in your life, your brother, your uncle, your grandfather, who are not healthy masculine men. They are not stepping up and showing up in your life. You will more than likely have a very negative opinion of men. But here's what I want to tell you. Even if that has been your experience, if that's all you've seen in your whole life of living, I want you to expand your consciousness around this subject. I want you to find men that are great. I want you to find good, healthy male role models. And I've talked about this in a prior episode where I like to find men. I even do this. I find men who I believe are, not only handsome, but are they emotionally healthy? They have a good, loving, caring relationship with their wife or their girlfriend. And they appear to be really good guys. They're not out here in any scandals. They're not cheating. You're not hearing anything bad about them. They are smart. They have good work ethic. They're good fathers. I know several men like this personally that are really, really great fathers. They're hard workers. They, pay their bills. They pay child support. They're really great guys. And I utilize those men as my men role models, my male role models, and it helps me to stay balanced in my opinion of men. So for every man, let's say that I see who is aggressive or angry, or every man that I see who is cheated, or every man that I see who is lazy and doesn't work and he's being taken care of by his woman, I have at least 2 or 3 men that are not like that. I have at least 2 or 3 men to counter that one man that I have seen who wasn't the greatest role model. And so you're going to have to be intentional about this. You're going to have to search out these men. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Sometimes these men may be famous men. They may be actors or singers or, athletes. They may be famous men that we all know. But sometimes they could be just men that at work, men that at church, men that that are your girlfriend's husbands. Other men in your life that are good, healthy, masculine men. So you've got to be intentional about this, because here's what I'm going to tell you. If your energy is contemptuous towards men, if your energy is negative towards men, and this is a body language thing, like this is something I'm seeing when I am watching men and women interact, and I do this quite a bit when I'm out. I watch how men and women interact with each other, especially like in a situation where we're in a bar or a club or a restaurant where a man is approaching a woman. He's trying to, go up and talk to her. I just kind of watch that interaction. I love watching that interaction. I love watching how women are with men, especially men they don't know, when men that are just walking up to them somewhere and trying to engage them. And one of the things that I'm seeing, I'm going to name several in this episode, but one of the things that I'm seeing is just a really sour face, like a really sour face, a scowling face, a pinched face, and that's the first thing I usually see. I see that face that just signals, like I've smelt something bad, and the man is approaching them, and here comes the face. The face is coming. And so even when, they're trying to be nice or kind to him and kind of let him down easy, they still have a face on that is very contemptuous. It's letting the person know they disapprove. Like, I can't believe you came over here. So we've got to watch out for our face, okay? We've got to watch out, not just for the words that we're using, but our face, our body language. I notice a lot of women will kind of turn away from a man. They'll put their hand on their hip. They'll cross their arms. All of those things are expressing contempt. And if I can be so honest, there really is no reason for that. Like if a man came up to you that may be interested in you, or maybe he's giving you a compliment. I mean, you don't know him. And if that's his only intention is to say, hi, miss, may I, I'd love to introduce myself, or I'd love to get to know you. I mean, he hasn't done anything to warrant any contempt. So I see a lot of women immediately go to that, and it lets me know they don't like men. They don't like men. And then you know what they say to me? Well, Anita, I don't like that man. I didn't want that man coming up to me. I didn't want that man trying to talk to me. I didn't want that. I didn't want to give my number to that man. But the truth is, other men could have watched that exchange, and they don't know the difference. They're thinking you don't like men, that you don't want any man coming up to you. You don't want any man approaching you, that this is what every man who comes up to you is going to receive. That's why it's so important. If a man that we don't know, a stranger, just comes up to us and he's respectful, what I always tell women is mirror him. Mirror his body language. If he smiles, you smile. If he's respectful and his arms are to the side, you put your arms to the side. If he doesn't come up to you with an angry, pinched face, don't give him the angry, pinched face. Like, mirror his body language. That's the least you can do. And even if your words are, oh, thank you so much. I so appreciate, your interest. I so appreciate the compliment. However, I'm not interested. I'm seeing someone. I'm married. I'm just not interested, but thank you so much. I wouldn't be interested, or I'm not dating right now, or whatever that is that you want to say if you're not interested in that particular man. But learn how to mirror a man's body language. And if he's not contemptuous towards you, don't be contemptuous toward him. There's no reason for it. Every man who approaches me, and if he's respectful, if he's kind, if he smiles, I smile. And if he, is friendly, I'm friendly. Like, learn how to mirror back to that man, whatever he's giving you. And just don't be contemptuous, because there's no reason for it. You're sending out an energy and a strong signal that says, I don't like men. I don't like men. Men annoy me. I get that a lot. I get a lot of women saying, well, I was annoyed. He annoyed me coming up to me, or what he was saying annoyed me. And that's their general attitude, that they're annoyed. And again, this comes from somewhere. You have to recognize there may be some healing that needs to happen inside of you. And ladies, if I can be so honest, you are not going to attract a good, healthy, masculine man, a good guy, if you have contempt in your heart for men. You must heal your heart. You must learn how to forgive. I've had men, do me wrong. I've been in some horrible situations with men. I've had an emotionally unavailable father, I've just had some interesting situations with men. And at the same time, I've learned how to also have a healthy appreciation for men. I've learned how to seek out healthy male role models on purpose. Like, I'm always on the lookout for another healthy male role model so that I can say, wow, there is a really great guy. And here's the thing. You don't have to want to be with him. You don't have to want to date him. He may not even be attractive to you in that way, but I want you to acknowledge this is a really good guy. He's not my guy. He's not the man for me, but he's a really good guy. And so that will give you hope. That will give you hope that there are other really good guys out here, and you can have one of them. But you must have just an attitude of appreciation towards men. And smile. It would not kill you to smile. It would not hurt you to smile. It would not hurt you to be kind. It would not hurt you to have friendly, open body language. That doesn't hurt. And so that just lets me know that there's healing there that needs to happen. And yes, maybe you need to have some healing around your daddy issues. Maybe you need to have some healing around your child's father or the last man that you broke up with or the man who cheated on you. At some point, you have to heal. Because here's the thing, ladies, you all feel a way about a lot of men out here, and yet you want one. You want to have a man. You want to be married. You want to have a good, healthy relationship with a man. And that's not going to happen until you become a woman who really loves men, who really appreciates men. So let me give you just a few reasons why I really appreciate men. Men are very logical and rational. Men are strong. They have a way of compartmentalizing. They have a way of staying out of their ego a lot of the times. They are not as easily offended. Men tend to let things go. They don't harbor resentments or anger for long periods of time because they are really good compartmentalizers. Men are, a lot of them are very scientifically inclined or, physically inclined. Men are natural problem solvers. Men want to be of service to us. They want to make us happy. Men want to be our hero. Men are incredibly, they just really enjoy being helpful, and they want to be of service. I just can't say that enough because all of the men I know, they're like that. They want to be of service to women. What else about men? They are attractive. A lot of them smell good. I love the way they feel. They're very muscular where I am very soft. I love the way a man's facial hair feels. And, this is a good one. I love a man with a deep, sexy voice. Oh, I love a man's voice. It just does something to me. A man's voice does something to me every time. And so there's just so many wonderful things to love about men. I especially love a man's hands. I love looking at a man's hands. I love feeling a man's hands on me. I just love everything about men. And so, ladies, you've got to work on this. Work on embodying an energy that says, I love men. And you may have to do some healing around this. You may have to, really focus on, what? I need to heal. I need to heal from my last breakup. I need to heal my daddy issues or just really not knowing anything about men. So I have some female clients who, there was no grandfather, there was no father, there was just her mother and her grandmother and her aunts. And, she had sisters. So a lot of it is women, they believe men are a mystery. They're just, I don't know anything about them. I didn't grow up with men. I don't know anything about them. So you've got to be more intentional. You've got to be more intentional about making male friends and about learning about men, listening to men. So many women I know, they don't do something as simple as just listening, like going to male platforms and listening to men. Now, not crazy male platforms, not the male platforms that are toxic, that are talking about crazy stuff, not those, but checking out Tony Gaskin's platform on YouTube or checking out other male platforms that are healthy. Elliot Hulse, he's another great one. Go to those platforms and listen to men. Listen to them talking. Men who are married, men who are in good, healthy marriages, men who are great fathers. You've got to find those platforms and just listen to those men. And listen to how they talk. Listen to how their mind works. Listen to what's important to them, what they're looking for in a beautiful feminine woman. That's how you're going to intentionally seek out more knowledge about men. But there are some women, they just believe men are a mystery. They don't know anything about them. And so, they just live in this ultra female world and they don't make any They don't make any choices to get to know men. You've got to get to know men. And so I was raised around men. So that's, I guess, why I have a special affinity for them. I was raised around my male cousins. I have 2 brothers. I have a father, grandfather. My mother had 3 or 4 brothers. I think she had 4 brothers. So I was raised around a lot of men. My dad had all of his guy friends. They were all my uncles. And I was raised around a lot of men. Some of those men were great, healthy, masculine men. Some of them were not. And I still made a point to seek out men that I believed were good men. And I listened to them and I learned from them. And one of the things I've been telling more and more women, especially recently, is that if you want to become the best feminine woman you can be, if you want to truly embody femininity, you need masculinity. Femininity grows in the face of masculinity. Okay? You will become an amazing feminine woman when you study masculine men. But you must study them. You must listen to them. You must pay attention when men are talking and they're trying to teach you about them. It's just like I was telling a client of mine. I said, if I were going to train horses, if I wanted to, buy horses and maybe, get into race horsing, let's say, racing horses. And I had all the money in the world. And I was like, yeah, I want to buy some horses and I want to train these horses to race. And, I want these horses to win horse races and all that stuff. I am not going to just go out and buy a bunch of horses and just, put them in a horse race. Like, I'm going to learn everything I need to know about horses and about horse racing because my intention is to win. My intention is to have my horses win and to take care of them and to make sure they're in the best shape that they can be in. So I have to learn everything there is to know about horses and horse racing if I am going to be a good horse owner. And being a feminine woman and wanting a masculine man is no different. If you're going to be, if you're going to know about the care and keeping of a masculine man, you have to learn all about that. And you've got to be open to listening to men and learning from them. And here's the thing. There are going to be a lot of things, ladies, that you're going to hear from men that you're not going to agree with, you're not going to like. But the reality is, it's coming from a man. If a man is telling you how men think, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's not true. It's how men think, or it's how that man thinks. So you've got to learn how to separate the difference between, oh, I don't like that. Men have a problem with women gaining 60 pounds after they get married. I don't like that. That's wrong. He should love me regardless. But the reality is, that's what men think. And so you would think with that knowledge, you would use that knowledge to your benefit. I know I do. I use the knowledge that men give me all the time. I use it to my benefit so that I can be the feminine woman that men want. So just like you have your preferences and standards and your boundaries, and this is what I want, men do too. They have their preferences and their boundaries and their standards. And the perfect fit of feminine and masculine is when those things come together and they fit. So what he wants is what I am, and what I want is what he is. That's a perfect fit. But you have to learn about what he wants. You have to learn about that man. And I want to see more women doing this. You're going to have more success with men when you do this. Okay? So being in a healthy relationship is not just about, oh, I'm a feminine woman and I'm embodying all this feminine energy and I'm just showing up. Okay, that's part of it. And then the other part of it is meeting the needs that masculine man has and him meeting the needs you have. that's going to require a level of learning. You must learn about men and like them, genuinely like them. So I want you to think about 2 or 3 things that you genuinely love about men. And just hold that thought with you. Like, just sit with it and hold that thought with you. Like I said, my 2 or 3 things are: 1, I love a man's voice. I love a man with a deep voice. I just love men's voices. I just love the voices of men. I really, really do. 2, I love the way men smell, especially good smelling men, right? I love the way a man smells. And even when I was dating a man, and let's say he didn't even have on cologne, or, he didn't even have on a scent, there's something about the man's smell, that earthiness to his smell, that I just find so attractive. And 3, I love a man's hands. I love the way a man's hands look. I love the way they feel on me. I love a man's hands. So those are my 3 things. I could go on. There's so many amazing things about men. But I want you all to really start embodying this energy that says, I love men. Because let me tell you, when you do, you will be a magnet to men. There is a reason why I am a man magnet, and it is because I embody that energy. I not only love men, I am accepting of men. That's so important, ladies. It's so important that you learn how to accept a man in all of his, with all of his stuff. Like, men have a lot of quirky stuff. We have a lot of quirky stuff. We got our stuff. But what men want most from their women is to be accepted. They want us to see them and say, wow, there's so much good here. There's so much here that is just amazing. I love it. Like, that's what they want more than anything. They crave our validation. They crave our acceptance. And so learn how to embody this energy. And when you do, you will become a man magnet. I promise you. Men will be magnetically drawn to you when you smile at them, when you have open body language, when you allow them in. And even if you're not interested in that man, you can let him down in the easiest of ways. So many men have told me, Anita, she rejected me, or she wasn't interested in dating me, but I didn't leave that exchange feeling bad about myself. Like, I didn't leave that exchange just feeling awful. I still felt like, okay, I felt like a man. She didn't rip me to shreds. She didn't, she wasn't nasty to me. She just said, oh my gosh, thank you so much for your interest. I'm so flattered, However, I'm not interested right now, or I'm not dating, or I'm seeing someone. That's it. And they leave with their dignity intact. That's all they ask. So, ladies, take some of these tips. I want you to smile. It doesn't hurt to smile. If a man approaches you, smile at him. Thank you so much. Use your sweet words. Affirm him, validate him. Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I really needed your muscles to help me lift that. It doesn't hurt. And just understand that inside of every man, every grown man, is a little boy who wants our validation, who wants us to smile his way and to accept him and to approve of him. Okay? So and remember, we're mirroring the man's energy. So if his energy is good, if his energy is respectful, if it's kind, mirror that back. And if a man's energy is not great, we're not going to mirror that energy back. We're just going to disengage. So if a man comes up to me and he's aggressive, he's nasty, I'm just going to disengage. I'm just going to remove myself. I'm just going to disengage from him. I will not engage him if his energy is not good. So, yes, this is a really, really important skill that every woman must embody. You've got to learn how to really love men. because that's what's going to make you a man magnet. That is what's going to make you irresistible to men. And this quality is just so amazing to men. They love it when they can feel that a woman loves men. Okay? I hope this was helpful this week. If you have a question you would like to have answered on the podcast, please consider DMing me on Instagram or emailing me at info@betterlovemovement.com. If you are not following me on Instagram, please do so. Please follow Better Love Movement. And if you're on YouTube or listening to this on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. I thank you so much. Please head over to the website, www.betterlovemovement.com, to find out all about coaching services, my ebook, my book out in paperback on Amazon right now, Choose Well, A Simple Formula to Determine the Best Man for You, and the other services that we have. And I thank you so much for listening this week. And as always, stay open to love. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave me a 5-star rating and review. Your ratings and reviews help me to continue to bring you more great content. Head on over to YouTube and check out the Better Love Movement channel. There's more video content there, and you can subscribe to be notified when a new video is posted. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast or in a YouTube video, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also connect with me directly on the Magnify app to have your dating and relationship questions answered. That's MAGNIFI, and it's available on iOS and Android. You get your first 5 minutes for free. So give me a call and let's chat.